Hello everyone, welcome to East Brunswick High School and another EBTV presentation of high school sports. Tonight it's wrestling as the East Brunswick Bears take on the visiting South River Rams. I'm Bob Cancro along with Andy Scanlon, and we'll be bringing you all the play-by-play action tonight in this matchup. Andy, this is a matchup between two teams that have records that are quite a bit different. South River comes in with a number of forfeits, but it still could be a very competitive match.
Absolutely. Where their forfeits are, we'll still match up very well, and it should be a very competitive match, is right.
Okay. Now, this is the one that traditionally says the Battle of the Old Bridge Turnpike, and the records go out the window. Now, you just coached in this matchup not too long ago. What's it like being on the sidelines for this match?
That's right. Well, it's exciting. It's always exciting to wrestle South River. They always put up a great show, and our guys are ready to go. They should be fired up, and high tension, lots of fun, and should be a great match.
This is the one where usually Group 4 schools don't want to wrestle smaller schools. Small schools don't want to wrestle the big guys, but it doesn't matter tonight, does it?
Absolutely not. I think this has been going on. It's a long-standing tradition, and the kids are excited and ready to go.
Okay, we'll be right back with all the action. And we are back here at East Brunswick High School for the match between the Rams and the Bears. The captains are out at the center of the circle with referee Jim McCauley.
Odd bout, shake hands, fellas.
Okay, red choice for the odd bouts went to South River. Andy, what does that mean for coaching, from a coaching standpoint?
What that means, it determines on who has to send out first, and then the other team has the option of choice in the second period, which used to have a lot more to do with the overtime, which we'll eventually get to.
Yeah, some rule changes this year in overtime that I guess I haven't seen very much of it happening, so I really wasn't even aware of it until the county tournament. Both of these teams did not necessarily fare that well in the counties, losing some wrestlers along the way early on, didn't have any finalists or semifinalists. But that's all forgotten when it comes to the Battle of the Old Bridge Turnpike with these two guys coming up.
Absolutely. I think East Brunswick's ready to go, and the Rams look ready to go as well.
We're going to start this match at 145 pounds, and the Bears, Fabian Pleasant, and the Rams, Justin McCutcheons. Bears, of course, in green, and the Rams in maroon. McCutcheon is a senior, and Fabian Pleasant is a senior, and Fabian's a young man who's got a pretty interesting future in front of him, right, Andy?
Absolutely. He earned a bid to the U.S. Naval Academy, and he deserves it. He's a great kid, strong, competitive athlete, and an excellent student. Both
of these wrestlers are seniors. McCutcheon comes in with a record of 16-6, and Pleasant with a record of 14-7. McCutcheon in on a high leg. Fabian working for that cradle as he goes into the mat. No control yet on the circle.
Oh, just out of bounds.
That was a close one. I thought Fabian might have had the control and gotten his toes down just before they went out, but
yeah, it looked like he tried to hit the Raider, which is actually a more of a South River move, but Fabian's hit it a bunch of times so far this year.
First period here, just under a minute to go. And there's a takedown for McCutcheons.
Yeah, it looked like Fabian got his arm a little too deep there, and he hit him with a whizzer.
And he escaped for Fabian, and it's a 2-1 match now. You see the score up in the corner on this bout. And that's a nice addition this year that EBTV is able to put up these graphics and give you that score. So if we don't remind you, you'll have that to see.
Absolutely, that's a very sharp and nice addition.
5 seconds remaining here in the first period. 2-1. Justin McCutcheons of the Rams in the lead. And the period ends that way. McCutcheons will have choice. And he goes on the bottom. Andy, when you're coaching a kid, do you take into account their strengths when they are choosing, or do you try to look at the situation? What's more advantageous?
Absolutely. Usually we count on the kids that they do have the ability to escape. So most times we'll put them on bottom. If there's a particular injury or something else is going on, we might choose differently, especially, maybe possibly neutral. Rarely on top.
Well, Fabian lost control there. Got a little careless. Slipped out.
Yeah, he needs a score here.
He's got to get that cross spin behind. There's his 2.
There it is.
And we are tied 3-3 here in the second period at 145 pounds. No change there as Fabian works the tilt. He's going to get back points. He's got to watch his own back.
Absolutely. He's got 2. Ref's holding 2.
And Fabian Pleasant goes up 5-3. Continues to work that tilt again, and he's going to get another count. Referee determining that he'd given up one control and reestablished it before he tilted him again.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like he's just waiting for him to release that wrist lock before he can award the points.
7-3 with 30 seconds to go here in the second period. Fabian Pleasant on top on the mat and on the score.
Yeah, absolutely. Strong second period for Fabian Pleasant.
Yeah, two sets of back points as well as the takedown. So he has reestablished himself after losing the takedown in the first period.
Yeah, and that's also why that if you do get taken down in the first period, it's so important to get that escape.
No back points as they went out. We're going to
set green, red.
And Andy now he's taking the bottom, as you said he would try to get him to do. Gets to his feet. Good cover by McCutcheons there.
Yeah, he's in there tight. Fabian's got to scoot his hips a little bit.
Trying to come out.
There it is.
Got the crazy leg in and gets the reversal. And Fabian goes up 9-3. And with the Peterson, McCutcheons tries to come around. Fabian strong. Good job of coming back on that one and getting back points.
Yeah, he won that battle. Looks like the official's holding 3, trying to fix this up.
If he's got the 3, that would put him in a major decision situation. That's a big plus for the Bears if he can pull that one off. Or now, if he can lock it up. Just over a minute to go here in the third period. Fabian Pleasant on top.
It looks close. Needs to get that head off the bat.
Scoops that arm on the far side. Got to stretch it out a little bit. A lot of time left for Pleasant if he can lock it up.
It looks like he's fixing his position right now. He's teeing up. He's got that half. Or he needs to get the half. There it is.
He's trying driving it in. He's pushing it under the arm underneath.
Yeah, in a position like that, you really shouldn't let the guy off his back.
I always felt, he's going to come up mad, if nothing else.
Absolutely.
Maintain that control. And right now, Fabian has a 9-point lead. That's a major decision. And getting more. 10 seconds to go here in the third period. Fabian Pleasant, as long as he holds it right there. Near fall for 3. Again, 15-3. And that will be the final. Fabian Pleasant with a major decision over South River's Justin McCutcheons, and the young man who is headed for the Naval Academy picks up a major for the Bears. And Andy, you were talking about how the matchups are going to be close, and South River, even though they're giving up several forfeits, it matches up really well. That's an important additional point there.
Absolutely. Matchups are everything. It depends on who you're wrestling. You can, it's hard to judge. One team beats another team. You might not beat that team, even if you beat the original team because of matchups.
For the Bears at 152 pounds, it'll be Jordan Braun. And for the Rams, it'll be Alex Renner.
Shake hands.
Braun is a sophomore and Renner a senior, and sometimes that plays into it a little bit. You can see as you look out there that Renner is a pretty well-built young man. Upper body looks pretty strong. And those 2 years of experience can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
On the varsity level, as we're looking at the records here, this is actually Braun's first varsity match.
That is correct.
Yeah, and nothing, 0-0, and Renner 17-8. So this is a tough one now here. Braun being thrown into a tough situation.
Absolutely, he's got his hands full, but obviously Coach Pazinko has faith in him. He's got to keep moving with that shot. That's it.
Got to follow through on that.
He's got his right hand up on that hip, and the Rams have much better leverage up there. He needs to keep that right hand down on the knee.
Renner trying to lock the cradle up. And he's got the control for takedown.
Yes, Jordan needs to break that grip, get himself a wide base because he's trying to be knocked off it right now.
He's got to kick that leg out, break that control.
Yeah, he's got to break that grip. It doesn't seem like he's putting too much pressure on it right now.
35 seconds here in the first period at 152 pounds. Alex Renner of the Rams up 2-0 with control over Jordan Braun of the Bears.
Jordan's doing a good job of not going over.
Breaks that cradle, so he's back on his base now, and he's got to work his way up. Although just 5 seconds here in the first period. 2-0 is the score with the Rams on top in this bout. And it will be...
Defer. Red takes defense.
Jordan Braun defers. And Alex Renner takes defense, the bottom position, as they go into the second period.
Jordan was just called for stalling. He was on his feet too long, not working to bring him down to the mat.
That's an awfully, all stalling is subjective, but that one in particular, I think a lot of referees, and I'm not critical of Jim McCauley's call, but I'm just saying a lot of referees, I think, make that very quickly, maybe more so than they need to.
I think so, and it does a few things. First of all, I believe the rule is as long as the wrestler is making an attempt to bring the defensive wrestler down to the mat, it shouldn't be stalling. And the other thing is it also has some wrestlers on bottom will get to their feet and not really work for the escape to try and work a stalling call.
They're looking for that quick stall call, and if they know the referee's doing that, if he's and coaches certainly know who these referees are. They've seen them enough times. They know what their styles are like and what they'll accept and what they won't accept. That's a strategy right there.
Absolutely.
Well, Jordan Braun doing a pretty good job controlling Renner on the mat.
Yeah, he's locking up some wrists and staying tight.
Getting a little bit high there, and he's got to follow behind now. He let himself stay up front, and an easy reversal for Renner.
Yeah, it's proof you can't really wrestle from your knees on top.
Well, the inexperience of Jordan Braun showing a little bit there. Had a pretty good JV record, 9-5.
Yeah, Jordan's come a long way since freshman year.
I wouldn't want to take either of these guys to Outback. Both of their favorite foods are steak. Filet mignon for Renner. He's got a little higher taste, but they're both steak eaters, so let's not bring him to Outback or any steakhouse for that matter. Braun coming to his feet, turned a little slow there, but pretty good trying to, as he got up to his feet.
Yeah, he gets up to his feet again. He really needs to get his hips out and away.
He had to face him there, and he needed to finish that off a little bit.
Yeah, he's back in that near side cradle again.
He likes that cradle. He's locked up in the first period, and Jordan was able to get out of it.
Yeah, and Renner's head keeps coming out of his hip there, so it's putting a little less pressure on Jordan. And it looks like he's broke his grip now.
Under 10 seconds here in the second period. Alex Renner for the Rams has a 4-0 lead over the Bears' Jordan Braun, and that's how the period will end. And Braun will have choice. He is wrestling a young man from South River who took third place in the East Brunswick Christmas tournament or holiday tournament here. And Renner also finished 6th at the GMCs as he goes to the optional start.
Yeah, Jordan's doing a very good job of keeping it close and looking for the right moves at the right time.
Renner was able to get the 2-point takedown in the first period, taking your opponent down to the mat with control. He's done that again now here in the third period. He was also able to get a reversal in the second period, coming from the bottom to the top position and gaining control. And there's been the one escape that Jordan Braun earned here in the third period as he was cut loose, came out from the bottom, got to his feet.
Yeah, Jordan needs to get his head up out of the mat, a little bit of hand control, and up to his feet. Oh, he was released by Brenner.
Cut him on that one. I think he's gotten the 2 takedowns, so he obviously feels he can do it again and maybe build those points up again. You know, we mentioned that Fabian Pleasant had a major decision, and we probably should review very quickly the scoring while they go out of bounds and come back in. A regular decision for over your opponent by points up to a 7-point decision is a regular 3 points for the team. Between 4 and 14 is a major decision. A 15-point margin of victory is a tech fall. And of course, a pin is worth 6.
Yeah, and the tech fall is worth 5. So a lot of times, if you know, you'll hear the coaches screaming and yelling if a kid has his opponent on his back and he has, you know, broken that margin of victory, that he still has the opportunity to pin him to make that extra team point.
Quick shot by Renner. He gets in on the legs and gets the takedown. He is up by 6, and right now, Coach Bobby Young of the Rams is looking for those extra 2 points. He's got 20 seconds, and right now that's Jordan Braun's job not to give up those extra 2 points.
Absolutely, they're looking for a major here.
Jim McCullough getting around to check on those locking hands as they came back to the mat. And that's the end of it right there. 8-2 decision by Alex Renner of the Rams over Jordan Braun. And a pretty good job by Braun for his first varsity match.
Yeah, he did what he had to do. I think Coach Pazinko's pleased.
Yeah. I mean, you're going up against a kid who's a senior, 2 years your elder, and a 17-8 record. He had his time in the county tournament, did a nice job there, getting the 6th place finish, which is not insignificant in that tournament. And but Jordan Braun able to hold off that attack.
Absolutely, saved the Bears a team point there.
Mm-hmm. We're going to go to 160 pounds, and the Rams have to send their wrestler out first. It should be Eric Gerstein up against Ramon Hanna for the Bears.
And I believe this is Ramon's first varsity match.
So again, there's 2 back-to-back, and I think, you know, Glenn Pazinko is probably looking for the same thing. You've got a kid in Eric Gerstein at 17-7, also a senior against a freshman. So again, a situation where there's a great deal of experience on the mat for the Rams, and very much not so for the Bears, but Hanna showed himself pretty quick there as he tried to get around.
Yeah, I believe Ramon's JV record is 12-3, and I know from last year I saw him wrestling 8th grade, and he's a strong kid, he's a competitor, and he does not like to lose.
Well, he's going head-to-head right now with a senior. And they're going to call a stalemate right there to get them started again. Renner took a 5th in the holiday tournament here in East Brunswick. Also a basketball and football, a football player and a baseball player, not basketball. That'd be kind of tough to do right now in the same season.
Yeah, I think 2 contact sports, the NJSIA would frown upon.
They tend to frown on that stuff. Baseball and football player.
That's a good thing. You don't see so many 3-sport athletes anymore.
Now, I've had so many conversations with people about how that's just going the way of the dinosaur. The kids tend to devote their time and focus so much on one sport. They're doing it year-round. And to some extent, if you're going to get to the highest level and the elite level in any sport, you do have to spend a lot more time. But it's unfortunate because kids just don't have the experience of being a part of other activities.
Absolutely, and you know, doing the same sport all year round, you know, sometimes kids can get a little bit burnt out. That should be 2 points there.
Good effort by Ramon Hanna as he's in, we think, his first varsity match. I'm not sure. That might be 1-1. We're looking at the record.
I think you're right, Bob.
Ramon wrote it out himself and wasn't sure there. So it might be his 3rd varsity match, but still a good job as he got in on the takedown with now just 9 seconds remaining here in the first period.
Yeah, he got in there, was aggressive. I mean, you can't really coach aggressiveness, and Ramon is doing a great job.
Well, if it's a surprise, I guess it is to me, as a 9th grader against a senior, a very pleasant surprise for the Bears as Hanna takes a 2-0 lead into the second period, and he takes the bottom position.
Yeah, it was good he wrote him out there. I mean, there wasn't much time left in the first period, but he did a good job.
Well, you saw in the county tournament, I can't think of the weight class right now, with just, I think it was 160 or 171 with just like 2.5 seconds to go. The match was tied. Young man thought he might have had it won and gave him an escape in those last 2.3 seconds and went into overtime. So, yeah, you do ride it out no matter how short the time period is. Don't let up.
Absolutely, and you'll see a lot of guys that'll hang on. You know, their opponent will get up and they'll just try and hang on to an ankle, and it's amazing how long 5 seconds is.
Oh, it's an eternity. Ask anybody who's been on their back out there for a while.
Absolutely.
Well, he's only got to hold on for another 25 seconds. Well, you do it. Eric Gerstein for the Rams, Ramon Hanna for the Bears. And Hanna with a 3-0 lead here in the second period and going toe-to-toe with the senior.
He's pulling on his headgear there. It looks like that Gerstein. Could have very easily been a penalty point. Yeah, he's really working Ramon's head here.
No control yet. They're still on their feet. He has to bring it down to the mat.
He's got to. That's it. He needs to pop those hips in.
Good job by Hanna.
Very nice.
Did Coach Pazinko say anything to you about this matchup? Because I'm telling you, this is not what I would have expected from a senior against a freshman.
Yes, I didn't know if Coach Pazinko was expecting to win this one, but he knows he has faith in Ramon, and Ramon is, as I said, an aggressive kid.
Well, there's 2 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in this match if it goes the full period. 16 seconds here in the second. And Ramon Hanna with a 5-0 lead.
Stay set, Red.
Right, he needs to just keep good position, wrestle smart, and things should work out well.
Gets that ankle, brings him back, slows him down at least. Got to bring those hips, and there's the warning because he's got to bring him down. McCauley down there looking for the hands, the locked hands, and the period will end.
What do you want, down?
Yeah, I don't know if people at home could hear this, but Coach Pazinko is informing Ramon that yes, if Gerstein gets up again, he needs to let him go because the official will call him for stalling again, and that'll be a point.
Give him the 1, not 2.
Absolutely.
if he can't bring him back down. And right now, he's able to bring him down. He's hooked the leg in the back.
He's got the half in.
A little awkward for control there. Breaks him down, though. Now he's got to run it.
Yeah, come out, come out.
He's on the right side now, or the correct side on the left. And switches to the double. He can finish it. Got to lift it up now. He's still got the control. Bring him down easy.
Oh. Should look for that half on the way down. He needs.
That really defines the better wrestler, the more experienced kid. He's going to throw that half in on this as they come down. The inexperienced kid, or the one who's just not thinking about it, just worried about getting control, is not going to do that. It's a good point.
Right, yeah, he needs to bring him to the mat, work right up, come out to the side.
And they're going to call that a stalemate.
Which is good, because they were staying parallel, and a lot of times that call will go towards the defensive wrestler. The offensive wrestler will get a stalling call.
And if that was the case, then it would have been a point, because that would have been the second warning for Hannah. So I think he got a little bit of a break from the official at that point. And he does give him the one as he stood up. And it is now a 5-1 lead.
What he needs to watch out for is any sort of upper body throw that'll put him to his back.
Right. And South River, I mean, from days gone by and even to this day, the head and arm
notorious.
Is notorious. Ask a wrestler from East Brunswick, what do you watch for with South River? And it's the head and arm.
I talked to Coach Bazinko, and he did. He went over the head and arm counters in practice during the week. And in fact, in the JV bout, I witnessed the Ram wrestler attempted to throw a headlock, and we countered it.
Now, Hannah can't be backing up. If he's going to be defensive, he's got to circle, because backing up is a sign of stalling, and he's got to be careful. And a little careless by Gerstein, and the takedown for Hannah.
Yeah, he was looking for that big move, and he slipped off. Hannah kept good position.
Right there. Watch the weight. Watch the weight. It's got to get into a coaching mood there for a second. Just, watch it instead of calling it.
Well, I can tell you, it's very hard for me right now.
Yeah, I can understand that. But that's the end of the match. And a great job by Ramon Hanna as he picks up a 7-1 victory over Eric Gerstein, and 3 team points for the Bears. They go up 7-3.
That was a fantastic job by Ramon Hanna.
Great job. A young man coming in with not much of a varsity record and taking on a senior, doing a great job. Now here's one of the more experienced wrestlers for the South River Rams, John Aronio, at 171 pounds. He'll be going up against Brian Pedrero for the Bears.
Yes, this is a very big match for Brian.
Aronio comes in at 15-5, a 40-15 record lifetime. Another senior for the Rams.
Yeah, Aronio definitely in this matchup has more experience.
Now here's a young man who, you ask him what his most memorable match is, and he says they all are.
Well, I think I know I've worked with Brian through the past few years, and he's been improving every single match, so I believe it.
Well, Brian Pedrero, 11-11 on the season.
Yeah, it's amazing. We're 22 matches into the season, huh?
Now, once upon a time, if you got 15 or 17 matches in, that was the end of your season. And we've got another few weeks to go before we hit the district. So when you count all the tournaments and the tri-meets and the quads that are going on now, wrestling has changed in that approach. I'm not sure what's the maximum number of matches they can have before the districts now.
It is 25 matches before the week of districts, and I believe next year that is going up to 30.
Wow. And
they're going to contract the season by 1 week, so there should be a whole lot of action next year.
A lot more of those quads and tri-meets. Brian
was in on that leg earlier, but it's hard to take a shot right there when that when your opponent's at the edge of the mat there, you shoot through him, suddenly you're out of bounds.
Well, that line is your backup. That's your protection. I mean, not that wrestlers don't stall and use the side as a gimmick, but a lot of times they're just using that kind of the your 12th man, if it's a football analogy, or the 6th man in basketball. That's a protection out there. You know you have that to fall back on or fall out of.
That's right.
If you get caught.
And for that Russian. Yeah, Brian needs to be careful, because I believe if he keeps backing out quite that quickly, I believe the ref will call for stalling.
Andy, you just mentioned he was trying to rush, and what is that for those who don't know some of the detailed terms of wrestling?
Russian is a type of arm hold which you can use to set up a bunch of different types of shots.
Okay. Both wrestlers dancing a little bit out there, feeling each other out. And the first period comes to a close, no score.
The first to Red. Red takes defense.
It looks like Coach Pizzico told him to defer.
The other way, Red. The other way, Red. The other way, Red.
Now, Brian Pedrero deferred. He had the choice, and John Aronio takes the defense.
Blood time, Red.
Okay, there is some blood. It wasn't obvious, but Jim McCauley saw it.
Yeah, they're real careful these days, and I believe you have 5 minutes of blood time throughout the entire match.
And that's cumulative through the match, so he might use a minute here, and if it happens again, he'd still have 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, that's correct, and you'll see a lot of the coaches, working as quickly as they can, usually having some things in hand or pocket ready to go to fix the athlete up. And they will cut the clock, though. As soon as the wrestler is stopped bleeding, they'll cut the clock and not count the cleanup time as part of the blood time.
Once upon a time before, the concerns of bloodborne pathogens was around, whether it's, and we're not just talking about HIV, but we're talking about other bloodborne pathogens. It was real common just to stick a cotton ball up a kid's nose, and as the official, you just kind of wiped it with your foot to get the blood off the mat. No one really cared about the disease and what could happen. Hepatitis was the term I couldn't think of before. Thank you for. But now it's a different situation. You can even see over there as they put the glove on to care for the injury.
Yeah, people take as every precaution they can. Not saying that these kids are contagious in any way,
no.
But it just makes good sense.
That's just a common practice. I mean, whether it's custodial and maintenance people in the building, they're always very cautious about that. Phil Hostler, the trainer for East Brunswick, had gone over there, but he was waved off. It wasn't that serious. And they resume wrestling now.
Yeah, it looks like it's some sort of abrasion, which can be really quite annoying, because that'll keep opening up. You might try and put some Vaseline on it to close it up, but that's something that could delay the match a little bit.
It looked like they were putting some kind of an ointment on there at the end. But Brian Pedrero for the Bears here at 171 pounds, still on top, coming up a little high. It looks like Aronio was working for Peterson, coming around.
Yeah, Brian's doing a great job of staying underneath those arms.
He's got to watch his hips.
Yeah, he's putting a leg in there.
Okay, he's got both boots in. And getting back points.
Yes, looks like the ref's holding 2. Slipped off for the reversal.
Well, he's going to trade off 2 points there. And we are tied at 2.
Yes, this will be a good time for him to get an escape here. Seems to be kind of hung up on bottom. He needs to come up.
He had pretty good control at the beginning of the second period, got the back points, but then slipped off, gave up the reversal. And now with 30 seconds to go here in the second, Aronio has a leg in.
Yeah, it looked like he dropped his hips a little bit, and Aronio took advantage.
And they're going to call a stalemate, no significant action. They're going to restart in the same position they just stopped.
Yeah, a lot of times that seems like at least the initial few calls on a leg rider is they'll stalemate him.
working the bar. Just 5 seconds to go here in the period, though, and not enough time to do much more, and the period will come to an end, and we're going to be tied. And maybe that's a good enough time or a sign that we should just talk real quick about the overtime now this year, Andy. The rules changed this year. If the match ends after 6 minutes in a tie, we go to a 1 minute sudden death. They're on their feet, and the first score will win it.
Yep.
But if they are still tied after that minute of overtime,
yeah, they'll actually have two 30-second ride-outs, and the wrestler who scored the first point will have choice of either top or bottom for the first 30 seconds.
But those are full periods. It's not sudden death at that point. They will wrestle 2 full 30-second periods.
That is correct.
And if it's still tied, then they have the sudden death ride-out,
which is determined by a coin flip.
Which seems, and we were talking about this off air before, a little strange because you've wrestled for, at that point, 8 minutes, and your future is determined by the flip of the disc.
He needs to post that arm there.
Aronio working the cradle. If he keep his weight back, Pedrero's in good position.
Right now should not have that hand wrapped around him, but it worked out.
Looking for the fall.
He is close. I can't see much up.
Got to lay back, lift up that far side. You can see Aronio's right shoulder's up. No, it's down. 1:07 remaining in the third period, so a fall at 4 minutes 53 seconds. Brian Pedrero fighting off Aronio's cradle.
It certainly looks like the Bears are ready to wrestle tonight.
Some good matchups, and there was a concern about how they matched up, but Brian Pedrero coming out against a good wrestler in John Aronio. Before him, Ramon Hanna with a great job against Eric Gerstein. And Fabian Pleasant starting off the match with a four-point major decision. So right now, the Bears up 13-3.
I believe this is Scott Kaminkowicz coming out now.
Why does everybody have 14-3 and I have 13? I'm miscounting somewhere.
The major says 4-3.
I thought Hanna's was not a major decision, was it?
No.
7. Well, I'm going to check that. But right now we have at 189. Right. Is Scott Kaminkowicz. Did I say that correctly? Okay.
Yes.
And the Bears will be bumping Nick Engelhardt up to 215 tonight against Adam Malgeri for the Rams. Malgeri 16-2 on the season, another senior, so a veteran squad for the Rams coming in, some pretty decent records. A third-place finisher at the East Brunswick Invitational back over the holidays last year, and a winner of the East Brunswick Invitational this year. So Malgeri, a good wrestler here at 189 pounds against Scott Kaminkowicz. Kaminkowicz 0-3 in the varsity level, just a sophomore. So here a matchup certainly in the favor of the Rams, and we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, the last two went in the way of the Bears, and on paper it looked like the Rams had the advantage. Looks like Scott here needs to work up to his base. A little bit of hand control. Shouldn't let him lock that up. Get that hand control.
Andy, I think we owe an apology to Ramon Hanna. There was a near fall at the end of that match that we didn't get, so he had a major decision back at 160 pounds. So that's why the score is different. It's 14-3. I missed it, so our apologies to Ramon for not giving him his due. So it's two major decisions and a fall. So we've got the bonus points that the Bears have been earning this match, and that has made a big difference.
And a lot of times matches do. You might have win 7 bouts and lose 7 bouts, and still either win a match or lose a match because of bonus points.
Absolutely. Malgeri comes up quickly for a 3-0 lead. He's a 2-year varsity letter winner in football, and of course the Rams have had a storied tradition in football. Quick on the high leg, but good counter by Kamenkowicz.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what Coach Brzezinko preaches. Make sure you sprawl and pressure down on that head. Looks like Scott should do try a little more offense. He seems to be backing up a little too much. He may be, thinking this kid has a little more experience.
Right. Well, you come across that all the time. A young wrestler, not maybe that sure of himself. He sees the opponent. He knows the opponent's experience. He looks at the kid, and Malgeri certainly is a well-built athlete. And you get a little hesitant instead of doing what you know you can do or what you should be able to do.
And that's right, and the real important thing is to be aggressive and try things out. If it doesn't work, the coaches can work with you on that and fix it what you're doing. But if you're not trying anything, it makes it a little more difficult.
You'd rather have the errors of commission than omission.
That's right.
Let him make the mistake if it has to. Well, a couple of times now, Malgeri has gone for that duck under and the high leg and crotch. And Kamenkowicz has been able to counter that. 33 seconds remaining here in the second period at 189 pounds. Shoots again. Good sprawl by Scott Kamenkowicz. Needed to be a little quicker on that spin. He let Malgeri get up. Needed to keep his weight down and stay heavy on him.
Yeah, he was close to points right there. About 6 seconds left in the second.
And it looks like the second period will come to a close with that score. 3-0 Adam Malgeri of South River over Scott Kamenkowicz, and who will choose defense as they go to the third period.
Yeah, not much else you can do there because he needs to escape, get his 1 point, and then work for that takedown. Scott's a tough kid. He's been wrestling up lately in his varsity matches. He's been wrestling at 215 for a few and has been successful.
Did not get around on that as he tried to come out. Turned over and the fall. 30 seconds into the third period, the Rams pick up a pin by Adam Malgeri. And they close the gap to 14-9 as they go to 215 pounds. Adam Malgeri at 189 with the pin, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. At 215, we're going to have Nick Engelhardt for the Bears.
And this is where it comes down to with that initial toss, because I'm not sure if they're going to forfeit to Nick or no. It looks like they're ready to send out.
And I'm not sure if this is Mike Machino or Brian Fodor.
I believe that's Brian Fodor.
It's Brian Fodor. Yep, Brian Fodor it is. And the Fodor name, a very prominent one in South River history. A number of Fodors having wrestled for the Rams.
And I believe there are 2 brothers on this team.
Both Nick is a senior, coming in with a 10-10 record on the season. And he's another wrestler who's moved up. He's been back and forth, 189 pounds, 215.
Yeah, I believe Nick weighs less now than he did his freshman year.
Well, both of these kids have weighed in at 189, and so they're light 215ers, so they're pretty balanced in that regard. Nick, a senior, Fodor, a sophomore. So we reverse the trend that we were seeing earlier, where the Bears were sending out the less experienced wrestler. Fodor comes in at 3-6, and as we said, Nick Engelhardt at 10-10 for the Bears.
He's got that front headlock on the feet there. And released it. Nick's got to work on his head position here. His head's getting tucked under, and he should have it. There he goes. He has it on the same side as that underhook. Put 2 unders in.
No score here in the first period at 215 pounds. The Bears with a 14-9 lead on the team score, having won 3 of the first 5 bouts, 2 major decisions and a pin. "15 seconds here in the first period."
And Nick is definitely having his head controlled by Fodor.
Well, this is where you hope that a little bit of that senior experience, veteran experience, is going to come through for you, and not what a young wrestler take control of the situation.
Yeah, and looking at Fodor is definitely no stranger to the mat. I believe he's been wrestling since a young kid. You know, he's in for 11.5 years. He's been wrestling.
Well, yeah, and again, it's a family situation. He points out that he's got a brother and a cousin who wrestled, and I don't know if this is, you know, who his father was. Bill Fodor was certainly a great wrestler for South River years ago. So he's been around wrestling for a long time, and he understands what it takes, and he understands what the South River tradition is, and what this match means to these 2 schools. Doing a good job right now, putting pressure on Nick Engelhardt's neck, keeping him down. Nick's got to get back up to his feet, up to his knees at least, and start working off his base.
Yeah, he needs to start moving a little bit and get some hand control there.
Might go to a... His headgear is coming out of whack there, and that's got to be disconcerting to him. But they won't break it right now since he's got the potential to get up. He's either drive in for the double or stand and get the 1, and he does. And they should stop it here to give him a chance, because he's got that headgear in a bad situation, bad position.
It's right around his neck. Yeah, with Fodor working that head there, it seems like he is trying to snap him down or get that front head in again. Nick with a nice shot, just needs to finish it. He's working hard out there, but it helps to have 2 hands on that leg.
Well, as you said, Andy, he's got to finish the move off. He's gotten in there a little bit, reacted to the shrugs by Fodor.
Yeah, they keep tying up and pummeling each other's heads.
15 seconds here in the second period, 1-0. Nick Engelhardt leads as they go out of bounds. They'll come back still on their feet.
And a lot of times I will draw a stalling call as well, especially at the upper weights. If you push the one guy out of bounds, even if you're not planning on taking a shot, just that backing up will cause you to get that stalling call against you.
They've got a circle. You can't back up.
That's right. I'm sure the ref is saying over and over, you know, center of the mat, guys.
Brian Fodor will take the defense on the bottom. And we're in the last period. And right now, Nick Engelhardt has to take some control here. He's got to break his man down and keep him down there. He's got just a 1-point lead as he works the bar.
Yeah, he's got to keep that lock back there, break him back down. Don't let him out. Nowhere to go. Close to a locking hands there for Nick.
Comes down, breaks the hands. Again, for those of you who may not be that familiar, when you are on the top position, if you come to your feet, you can certainly lock your hands around your man, but once you go back to the mat, you've got to let him go. You can't have him locked or overlap. Fodor with some good hip move, but not able to throw him off. Nick defending him pretty well there.
Yeah, Nick's got to watch that roll. And with the bigger guys, even though these guys aren't the biggest 215-pounders, you need to be on that same side.
Well, you've got almost 400 pounds out there. That's a lot of beef.
That is a lot.
Floating around.
And this is a real important match for the Bears.
Well, this is kind of a break point because the strength of the Bears is middle and upper. They haven't had as strong a lower weight.
That is true.
They do have a few forfeits in the second half of the bout, but you want to get that lead now and not have to worry about those points being the only ones that you're going to be scoring.
And I think it's a nice system that they went the way of the colleges to draw the starting bout before the match.
I think it takes it makes it more exciting, makes it more interesting, and it takes the pressure off the big guys because they always had that burden of it coming down. If you're 2 or 3 points down, well, who's going to win, who's going to lose? And the poor guys at the top of the weight class always got the burden of that. And now it spreads it around a little bit. And I think it also lets parents and the other fans to see the entire match, see the entire lineup. Because so often people would leave after maybe 7 or 8 bouts, and they never saw the kids who were coming up later.
That's true, and from a coaching standpoint, if you're making any moves, it depends on, you might be making a move between 35 and 40, and if you start at 40, it changes what you're doing, and especially like we were talking about earlier with the coin toss, add that in there, and it makes coach, gives one more aspect to the coaching.
Which is why I'm glad I'm not coaching anymore, because I don't want to think that hard. But it is a lot more strategy involved in doing that. We are coming to the end of the third period, tied at 1, 9 seconds. And unless somebody gets a quick takedown here, we're going to have an overtime, as we were explaining before.
Yeah, we'll witness a real-life example.
So we have 1 minute on the clock. And this is a sudden death situation. So any points that are scored here, that's the end of the bout.
That is the end of the bout. I believe if one wrestler is taken down to his back, though, I believe the other wrestler does have the opportunity to pin.
Just like in the old overtime rules, they have a chance to score the pin. And Brian Fodor coming out pretty aggressive there, taking that front headlock and wanted to make it happen right now.
Yeah, Nick's got to work inside and start to circle towards that underhook or use it. He needs to put some pressure on Fodor.
Neither wrestler scored on their feet in the regulation.
Nick's looking to put those double underhooks in. I tell you this much, Fodor is definitely controlling his head, and usually where your head goes, your body goes.
And he was looking for that throw as they went out of bounds. We're halfway through the first overtime.
And these are both wrestlers have a similar style. You could see there where Fodor was putting the pressure on with that underhook. Nick did a good job of fighting that off.
And right now, Fodor is the aggressor. As they go under 10 seconds, just 9 seconds remaining here in the first overtime. Still no score.
Yeah, Nick's got to be careful. He should really take some sort of shot or at least circle, because as you said, Fodor is the aggressor right now.
East Brunswick, right? Top, bottom, or defer?
Okay, the first scorer in this bout was Nick Engelhard with the escape in the second period, so he gets choice in the second, and he is choosing defense. These are two 30-second periods that will now wrestle.
Yeah, unless one of them scores more points, we'll go into that last 30-second ride out. Looks like Nick's doing a good job of escaping.
Got to break the control. He does. He's got the 1.
That's neutral.
And he takes a 2-1 lead. There's no control.
He needs to bring him to that mat.
He gave him the 1 first, so there's nothing there.
7 seconds. He needs to bring him down. And he got it.
That's a big one.
That's huge.
Considering that there was no scoring off their feet in the first 7 minutes. Getting the 3 points in there with the escape and then the takedown was incredibly important for Nick.
And at this point, Fodor needs 1 and 2 in order to stay in this.
Well, for 30 seconds, Nick Engelhardt has to break his man down. And worst case scenario, give him the 1 if he has to. Even give him a reversal.
Right, he'll still be up by 1.
22 seconds. In the third overtime period, we've wrestled 7.5 minutes. Nick Engelhardt now with a 4-1 lead, having scored 3 points in the second overtime. 15 seconds to go. He's trying to break down Brian Fodor of the Rams here at 215 pounds. 10 seconds to go here in the third overtime.
And Nick is doing a good job of breaking him down and looking for those wrists locking up, staying inside those arms.
He's going to go with the optional start, not risking anything. Just give him the 1. Cut him loose for the 1 and take a 4-2 lead. And a 4-2 victory.
Excellent job by Nick. That takedown obviously was a huge move.
Big difference, big momentum changer there. He got the 1, and I'm thinking to myself, well, we're going to do this again, because that's the way the first 3 periods went.
Right, it looked like we may have been going to that coin toss.
Well, 17-9 is the team score with Nick Engelhardt's decision in overtime at 215 pounds. That brings us down to 275. The heavyweights, Joe Brzula for the Bears and Ray Fodor, I believe, for the Rams. And Fodor, the brother of Brian, getting the takedown right off the start. Ray Fodor, a sophomore with a 6-8 record.
Likes his chicken.
We asked the kids to fill out an information sheet and what their favorite food is, and it's always fascinating. Fodor with being a very aggressive.
Yeah, he came right around
putting
front.
Brzula on his back.
Cement mixer right to his back. And that'll do it.
46 seconds of the first period, and Ray Fodor with a fall for the Rams. And they close the gap to 17-9. I'm sorry, yeah, 17-15. I'll figure out my math, and having a hard time adding tonight. It's not a good sign. So what had been an 11-point lead for the Bears at one point after 171 pounds now is down to 2 points. As we go to 103 pounds, Chris Corona for the Bears and Adam Mongelli for the Rams, and this is a strength for the Rams. Mongelli coming in at 18-6.
Yes, Chris really needs to stay in good position here and wrestle kind of a defensive match.
Chris comes in at 2-10 on the season, just a ninth grader, just a freshman. We're checking. We might not have Adam Mongelli here. It is, in fact, Mike Rosa. We did not have that information. We were told that it was Adam Mongelli coming up, but it is Mike Rosa for the
Coach,
Rams, and we're not sure what his record. We don't have that information.
Yeah, Coach Young put him in. I guess he believes in Mike's got a good chance against Chris, and then he's going to bump up Mongelli. Yeah, to wrestle Kyle Mascola.
Okay, so some strategy on the part of Bobby Young of the Rams.
Yeah, and Coach Pazinko at these weights has no moves to make. So at this point, Chris Corona really needs to realize that he's wrestling a kid that he does have a chance to beat. So he needs to start wrestling very hard.
Well, at this point now, it looks like one of the forfeits that we thought the Rams might have may be passed up. If they bump Mongelli up to 112 to wrestle Kyle Mascola, that could mean that Iqbal, I guess is his name, would move up to 119.
Yeah, they could
start the dominoes. First period ends 2-0. Mike Rosa in the lead over Chris Corona, and now picking up 2 more points. Chris coming out front.
Looking for that reversal.
And reversing. Well, just as you said, Andy, Chris needs to get aggressive, and he did real quickly there. A little determination on his face, and he's got some legs in.
He needs to keep those hips up, get that pressure on there. It looks like he's working for a power half.
Got to stretch him out.
He's getting a little high.
Watch his weight, and they will call a stalemate.
Yes, this is a good move by Coach Young, just even for the fact for the sake of not having a forfeit to cover the forfeit.
Absolutely. I mean, my feeling was always, if you're going to get 6, you're going to earn your 6 on me, and I'm not going to give it to you if I can help it.
And the official's looking for a locking hands down there, because even if you're around the athlete's or the wrestler's ankles, it's still considered locking hands.
Chris Corona doing a nice job, but he is up a little bit high. He's got to get that leg in now, right now.
It's a shift back.
Got them both in.
There he goes.
He stretches out Rosa.
Seems like he's tied up inside, that Rosa is really clamping down on those elbows.
Just got to keep those legs in and keep his hips up. Crossface hard in there. Maintain that control. 23 seconds here. Still parallel. You saw the signal by the referee. No points, and they're going to have a potentially dangerous. And I'm not sure what that was, but
I'm not sure. But Chris has to be careful that he doesn't figure 4 the body there, because that's an illegal hold. At the very least, Corona needs to finish on top here.
Finish out this period. 19 seconds in the second period, and Chris does need to maintain some control and not give up the 1 or 2 here in the closing seconds of the second period. Doing a good job as he breaks Mike Rosa down, and it looks like that will be the end of the period. And with Chris Corona trailing by 2 at 103 pounds.
Quick escape here, and he'll have plenty of time for a takedown.
Rosa working the bar on the left side. He's got that in pretty tight. Lets it go, works to the other side now. Chris has got to come up to his base.
Yeah, I can't tell who has who. No, I think he's looking for a gable bar there. He does have that wrist. Bruce is working that bar in deeper.
Got to watch that stalemate. I was going to say he's got to watch the chicken wing coming up, the potentially dangerous, but they called a stalemate.
1:13 left. Mike needs an escape here. Right back to that bar.
Well, Coach Bob Young and his brother Joe, who's coaching with him, are both pretty excited about this, and I think they see an opportunity at this weight, possibly able to pull this one out, sneak this one through, pick up a win at 103 pounds. Just a 4-2 score right now, 48 seconds to go here in the third. Rosa working that bar pretty consistently, but not able to turn Chris Corona.
Yeah, Chris needs to, with the break in the action here, Chris really needs to use this. He needs a reversal or an escape and a quick takedown.
He's got to explode off that whistle right now. There's no question. He's got to break it out right now.
That's right. He's got to beat him on that whistle. Keep coming up.
He's got to keep going. 30 seconds to go here in the third.
Rose is doing a good job of tying up his hands there. He's got that cross arm, cross wrist.
Ten seconds.
Okay. Jim McCauley's doing a very nice job officiating.
Wouldn't have stopped it for the warning if it had been on Chris Corona, but a warning on Mike Rosa for stalling, and a caution then on Chris. There is no points on either of those, a warning or a stalling on the first one. And this period will end, and the match will end with Mike Rosa picking up a 4-2 win over Chris Corona, and the Rams, for the first time tonight, take a lead on the team score, 18-17.
Yeah, and this next matchup is going to be very important to the Bears. So I believe it's going to be Moscola Mangelli. They're waiting for Coach Pazinko to send out. That is Moscola.
It's Kyle Mascoli.
And that is Mangelli.
Adam Mangelli for the Rams. We made the mistake of identifying Mike Rosa as Mangelli for 103, but that's where he weighed in. And Mangelli with an 18-6 record. No control yet.
Kyle's been filling in and doing a fine job for Matt Ackerman, who broke his finger against Piscataway.
And there's the takedown from Mangelli. Kyle coming in just a sophomore. Also a lacrosse player. Mangelli does cross country and track, so we know how he stays in shape for wrestling.
Yeah, I think Kyle's going to be in a similar mode as when we first thought Mangelli was wrestling Corona, as he needs to stay in good position, keep it close, and take his opportunities when they arise.
And you heard Jim McCauley, the official. So had some blood with Kyle Mascola, and they will take care of some the needs.
You can see Coach Pazinko. He is you know, adamant about getting the bleeding stopped right away because we only do have 5 minutes.
And the crowd gathered around Kyle, getting an awful lot of attention there. There's assistant coach Matt Pazinko on the left in the green, and in the tan sweater is trainer Phil Hostler, and off to the right, just out of sight, he was on the screen. There was Chris Yanazzo, one of the other assistant coaches.
Yep, getting a few words in to Kyle.
I don't know who the student trainers are. Do you know who they are, Andy? Give them some recognition too. I'm not sure who these young ladies are.
Actually.
Phil Hostler runs a student trainer program here at East Brunswick, and it is a really terrific outfit that he conducts. Gives these kids a great deal of training, expects a lot from them, and they do a great job working with all the team sports. Now, we do know that Victoria McLean is one of the student trainers for the Bears, and we want to give her recognition. I'm not sure which one of those it might have been.
Victoria is the one with the long brown hair.
Oh, okay. So if you're at home and you're taping this and you want to replay it, you can go back and check which one was Victoria.
That's right.
(2-1) is the score here in the first period. 25 seconds to go. Adam Mongelli for the Rams. A 2-1 lead over the Bears' Kyle Mascola.
And Kyle is wrestling smart here. Needs to not reach over there. Oh, he's getting that.
He's hanging on to the ankle back there. Gave it up, and Mongelli able to do the toss across there and gets the takedown just as the period comes to a close. And a 4-1 lead for Adam Mongelli.
And you can see Coach Pazinko saying, you know, hip in there, stop that move, pressure down on that head on those takedown defense.
Kyle's dad, Dale, has been very involved with the recreation wrestling program in East Brunswick, and he was actually running it for a while. I don't know if he still is, I'm not sure, but very involved with athletics in town, both in baseball and with wrestling.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job, and the rec program this year, I believe, is at an all-time high. They're doing a fantastic job down there. Get those.
With the Peterson.
With the Peterson is right. Kyle needs to turn out of this. The official's holding 3. He's probably going to look for a headlock up towards the legs. Smart way to go.
Gets the back points, taking a 9-1 lead right now. Does Adam Mongelli over Kyle Mascola. Pretty good fight there by Kyle.
And as I said before, we're at that 8-point threshold right now. It's a 14 points.
Drives the half. Kyle trying to bring that arm through, and he does. Keeps coming this way. If he does, he's in pretty good shape to get out of this. Get back to your base. But he does give up another 3 back, making it a 12-1 lead.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here. He really needs to start keeping good position and some hand control. Needs to crawl forward. He's got that Turk in there. "20 seconds. He needs to fight here.
He's got 3 in the bank on the back points. 15-1 is the lead, and 1 more point, and they are at a tech fall. A 15-point margin of victory.
I can't remember who has choice here. I believe Coach Young has choice.
No, I think Kyle has the choice here now. Yeah.
Oh, yep, you are correct.
I write it down. That's the only way I remember. So don't.
That's a good idea.
Don't think I know that much.
Down. Tell me,
As a coach, I'd remember.
Oh yeah.
Defense.
That stuff comes naturally at that point. But it's been a long time since I'm getting older. Kyle Mascola takes the defense, and it looks like Mongelli will give him the optional start. Cut him loose and look for the takedown.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's going to look for a big move to put him to his back, because as we were saying earlier, if you do take your opponent, look at this.
And Mascola puts him on his back, gets the takedown, and 2 on the back.
Great job there. Never quitting right there. He's staying aggressive and looking for a nice big move.
So from being 1 point away from giving up the tech fall, he now closes the gap a little bit, and it's now a 9-point difference. And Kyle Mascola just changed the tone of this bout and maybe of the match as he goes for that far side cradle.
Yeah, he certainly did. You can see how tough he is and what a competitor.
He's got a leg in, trying to far side half.
He's getting a little high.
Yeah.
Head.
Got to be careful.
Get that head up.
Gives him the 1.
That's a smart move.
Did a nice job on that. He came out aggressive after he got the escape on that optional start. Mongelli figuring he could give him the 1 and get the 2 back for the Tech. And Kyle just went right after him, got the takedown, got 2 back points, and then when he got a little bit out of position there, escaped and gave him the 1 back. Did a nice job there. Very nice sequence.
Yeah, that's a smart move. He felt he was in trouble, and he's much better off giving him the 1 than 2. And as you said earlier, on the feet the last time, Kyle had the last takedown.
A 10-point lead for Adam Mongelli, but that's a big difference from being 1 point away from getting a Tech fall.
Sure is. And Kyle's good move here. He needs to do what Coach Pazenko says here. Get that hip in, keep that head buried.
That was quick call by Jim McCauley on the stalemate. They go back on their feet. 36 seconds. Now, these are big 36 seconds for Kyle Mascola and the Bears. Here at 112 pounds, the move by Bob Young to move Mongelli up as he gets the takedown, to move Mongelli up to 112 to go against Mascola, figuring that he could pick up both wins maybe at 103, or at least take a shot at 103, and then pick up the 112 and not have to forfeit at 19. And so far it's worked out pretty well, but not quite as good as he might have expected.
Yeah, I'm sure he was looking for 6 in this match here.
18-7, and the period will come to a close. The bout will come to a close. It's a major decision for the Rams, but that's a big change from what could have been.
Yeah, Kyle did what he had to do, and as you said earlier, Bob, that was just showed how much heart he had on the side of the edge of the mat right there.
22-17 is the score right now for the team. Adam Mongelli with the major decision in that 112 bout. We go to 119. Nick Parabello for the Bears. And I'm not sure who they're going to be sending out.
I think he just received a forfeit.
He took the forfeit.
Yes,
okay.
So I don't think they had anybody weighed in, so they still had to forfeit somewhere along the line.
And so in what is now becoming a seesaw battle, the Bears go back up 23-22.
Yeah, and at that point, I think Coach Pazenko had to send out first, and
you're right.
With that, with Young's moves earlier, it forced him to put out his wrestlers in the order that Young could see who's wrestling and actually have choice.
Well, I'm still wondering. I don't know. They had Zahab Iqbal weighed in at 112, and he could have bounced up to 119, I guess. But he chose not to. Took the forfeit at 19, or gave up the forfeit at 19 to the Bears. The 125, that brings up Chris Williams for East Brunswick and Dave Mathias for the Rams. Mathias, a senior, 13-4 record on the season, and a second-place finish in the East Brunswick Holiday Tournament. Chris Williams, a junior, at 4-12.
Yeah, and as we were talking about coin tosses earlier, the Rams won the coin toss at the beginning, and it could have been a different matchups. Actually, it would have absolutely definitely been different matchups if the Bears won the coin toss.
Well, again, that decision of who puts out first, it was always a battle years ago where, you're going to see who the other guy puts out first. And at one point, they had the home team having to come out first. This is a lot more fair in the sense that it's going to go back and forth, and just because you happen to be at home doesn't put you in a position of having to reveal your hand. So it's a lot of strategy that does go into it. And I think a lot of parents who are watching and sometimes wonder what happens out there, they don't realize how much thinking goes on, those little details.
And that's right. It's much harder when you have to put out first. It's much harder to make moves. Obviously, you really can't make any moves. The visiting team could make the different moves. So now, as you said, when we say home for odd, that means that you're the home team on the first, third, fifth, etc. matches, and your opponent's obviously with the even.
Good duck under by Mathias as he gets the takedown and goes up 2-0 here at 125 pounds.
And I believe Mathias actually beat Williams at the East Brunswick Invitational Tournament. So Williams is definitely looking for some paybacks here. Brought back down to the mat. Hard.
Not legal.
Absolutely.
And that first period comes to an end. 2-0. Dave Mathias in the lead. Mathias starting from the defensive position.
Yeah, Chris needs to start working. Coming out.
Well, Mathias able to come up facing him. Chris has to get behind, get some control again.
Yeah, as soon as he came over that arm, Mathias gained position on him.
And a 3-0 lead for Dave Mathias. And going for more as he gets the takedown.
He's got that half deep. It's almost, he's got his hand on his chin practically. Boy, real close to a full Nelson.
Andy, as I'm looking at the, not that I want to take away the suspense of the rest of the match here, but I'm looking ahead and forgetting the fact that at 135 and a 140, Luis as it's playing out right now, the Rams are giving up forfeit. So there's 12 points in the bank for the Bears, which gives them right now 35. I think the match is over.
Yeah, mathematically it looks that way.
Mathematically, the match is over right now. Which, again, makes me wonder why Bobby Young didn't put somebody in at 119.
Got it.
Yeah, it looks that way. It looks like we have 2 bouts left and 2 forfeits left. So even if, no matter what the outcome is, it should be a push.
Two periods in the book at 125 pounds, and Dave Mathias with a 7-1 lead over Chris Williams.
Green, you got optional, Green. Okay, red.
Yeah, I just started looking ahead, and I'm looking who's going to be at a 135 and 140, and there are 2 forfeits, at least as it looks. I don't think there's anybody else left behind on the bench for the Rams, and so now I really do wonder, was there somebody else that he had weighed in that he made the move as he bounced around at 103 and 112. Why didn't he put somebody out at 119? At least take a shot at it, and at least not instead of giving up 6, even if you just gave up a major or a tech.
Absolutely, and as you said earlier, make him earn it.
You were listening, huh?
I try.
Stu never listens to me, but thank you. Chris Williams getting the escape here at 125. He is down 7-2. Mathias pretty quick on his feet, coming around on Chris, getting the takedown here again and building a 9-2 lead.
Yeah, Chris has got to get more aggressive on his feet. He's letting his head get worked, and it's leading to the takedowns. Jim McCauley's doing a real nice job of calling those stalemates quick, keeping the action.
Well, Jim is a former wrestler at what was then Madison Central High School. And a fine wrestler there. And so he appreciates what's going on the mat and understands it. I think it's, when you've been a participant in the sport, you have a sense of what's going on, and especially in a sport like this where you have that back and forth and a sense and the balance and movement. Although there are certainly officials that I've known who have had very little experience as wrestlers and have been excellent officials as well.
That's true, and Jim does do a great job. He's, done everything all the way up to the state finals, I believe.
Mm-hmm. He has worked in Atlantic City. He worked the county tournament this past weekend.
That is an exciting tournament. So many great teams in the Middlesex County.
Well, and of course, South Plainfield has just outdistanced a lot of people, but they got knocked off the other day to Delaware Valley. So there are probably people in South Plainfield who are calling for Kevin McCann's head. He has 2 losses.
Not typical of a
no. But they will be in the Group 3 championships. They'll be up at Warren Hills. South Plainfield will.
Yeah, they do a great job over there. Perennially just excellent.
Dave Mathias with the win for the Rams. And the again in this back and forth. Picks up 3 points for the Maroon. And they go up 25-23, and we come to 130 pounds. Kevin Busan for the Bears comes out first. Going up against the Rams, Dan Fumicaldo.
Yeah, this should be a very good matchup.
2 seniors. Fumicaldo 14-7 on the season. And Kevin Busan 13-11.
Kevin's really got to come out and wrestle. Sometimes it takes him a little while. He feels out the other wrestler. But it looks like he's going right in, being aggressive right from the start, which is a good thing.
Fumicaldo backing up a little bit there as he's being pushed by Busan. Fumicaldo's a scholar athlete, an honor roll student at South River, also a cross-country runner and running track. So, again, there's one way to stay in shape. When you see that cross-country wrestling track, you kind of get the sense that wrestling is the primary sport. The other ones are just there to get you in shape.
That could be. Comes a little deep with that elbow. Oh, comes out on top.
Got the take. I think that might have been a little quick on the part of Jim, but it finishes out that way anyway. Kevin Busan with the takedown over South River's Dan Fumicaldo.
Just under a minute. Let's see if Kevin can get a few more points here. He's got to watch those hips. They're getting a little low, and he's actually, I believe it looks like Fumicaldo is getting underneath that leg. Oh, no, he's not now. Kevin's across the body, which is good. There's that stalemate again.
At one point in the match, I thought Jim McCauley was calling the stalemates a little quick, but, you know, in retrospect, and you kind of put everything in perspective, he has kept the action moving, and I think he's done a nice job in not letting the wrestlers just sit there and work into stalls or not let and giving everybody an opportunity to perform.
That's right, and kind of I'm trying to say is that's exactly right, and what it's avoiding is him having to make those calls with the stalling calls, which is great for everybody.
And in truth, there really wasn't any significant action when those stalemates were called. I mean, somebody might say, well, you know, he still could have worked up, but he wasn't. So why not just break it and let's start again and give everybody an opportunity to get some scoring in and get some action.
That's right.
Kevin Busan with the choice, and he takes the defense here in the second period, 130 pounds. He leads 2-0. The Bears trail by 2 on the team score, but as we were saying earlier, as Kevin comes around with a nice switch, but no control. You'll have a 1 probably.
It there.
Oh, it does get the trick. Okay.
Kept those toes in. I believe even if you fall to your knees and drop those toes in, it still counts.
You're correct. McCaldo's standing, but Kevin maintaining control as they go out of bounds on the far side.
Kevin looking for a Navy here, it looks like. Kevin's doing a nice job of staying with him and just let him up for the escape.
Just when you say something nice, it never fails.
Right? I shouldn't jinx him like that.
No.
That's a good move there. One up, one down, and took advantage of it.
Kevin Busen with D'Andre McCaldo on his back. Just under a minute, so a lot of time to work down there.
Yeah, now he needs to fix that up because the official's holding 3 right now. Now he should fix that up, look for a pin, keep him on his back.
And bring his weight back, tee up a little bit.
Keep those arms trapped and he's going to run that half in there. That looks good.
Locked up pretty tight.
Reverse in there now. He should put a forward half in there, get that left arm out of the way.
You're right, he's got to put that, reverse that half.
There it is.
There you go, right there. Lock it up, lift the head.
Yeah, if he has the opportunity, he can come back a little bit, get
a little bit high there.
Looks like the ref took one in the face.
Yeah. You got somebody's back. You don't want the ref turn away because you poked him in the eye. 3 points for Kevin Busen, but he was real close on that one, but close only counts in horseshoes.
That's right. Fumikado did a nice job of fighting off his back there.
He goes on his feet. Now, he has not scored. He scored only 1 point in an escape, and he's going on his feet now.
Yeah, I would say watch out for that big move. He's going to go either upper body, headlock, or some sort of throw. Kevin should, stay low.
Well, as I said, you get a guy down like that, locked up, you don't want to let him up because he's going to come up mad.
That's the truth.
9-1, Kevin Busen with a major decision situation right now. We mentioned South Plainfield going into the group sectional championships next week. The Bears will have some matches. They are not in the sectors, nor are the Rams. They're scheduled to see Freehold and Hillsborough next week. So a lot of times that gets changed because of the tournament situation. I'm not sure what the schedule is for the Bears coming up.
I know they will be at Freehold. I know that.
Okay.
That's their next one.
The sectional tournament next week. The districts start the 24th and the 25th. They will be over at South Brunswick High School. An opportunity for some of these wrestlers to get some retribution for some losses along the way. Seeing teams like South River again, Old Bridge, South Brunswick.
Yeah, that's right. They'll usually see each other or have the opportunity to see each other a few times within the different tournaments and the dual meets.
Nice move by Busen.
It looked like sort of a gunslinger right to his back.
No points because he took him down to the out of bounds area. He was on his back but out of bounds, and no points are going to be scored there. Busen up 11-1 now. And now with 51 seconds to go, he has an opportunity to score some bigger points. He's got the major right now, and he'll go with the optional start.
Okay, Green.
And again, now it's Kevin Busen looking for the big 5-point play. Or the fall.
Yeah, he's got just under 40 seconds now. He has put him to his back twice so far from his feet, so.
the one thing he doesn't want to do is give up any more points and lose that major decision, which he now has.
Yeah, that's right, because I know Coach Bazinko wants some, one at a time. Just get that, get each point one at a time, and don't give up the ones you don't have to.
And while it may not have a bearing on this particular bout, on this match, when you go to the seeding meeting for the districts, they're going to look at, what did you do? Yes, the record might be X and X, but were there pins? Were there major decisions? And against quality competition. So that major decision.
Absolutely. They'll say, well, what did you beat that guy by?
Right.
And if it's a major, it makes a big difference.
A 4 points for the team. The Bears go up 27-25, and it looks like we will have the forfeits. Todd Marriott comes out, takes the forfeit at 135 pounds for the Bears. And at 140, Buddy Volta.
I guess that'll do it.
And we have a final of 39-25. The Bears winning over the South River Rams. Bears got off to an early big start with wins by Fabian Pleasant and Ramon Hanna and Brian Pedrero. They went up 14-3. Then they ran into a little bit of difficulty. Nick Engelhardt came back with a win. Hard-fought win at 215 pounds. But then with some maneuvering by Bobby Young, the Rams took the lead beginning at 103 pounds when he made some moves to put himself in a better situation.
Yeah, the Rams wrestled really tough.
Mike Rosa picking up the win at 103 pounds, and a very good match, a loss, but a great match by Kyle Mascola, who came in there and what looked like was going to be a tech fall against him. He came back to lose, but only by a major decision. Nick Parabella with a forfeit win. Kevin Busen with a very solid major decision, 130 pounds, and then Todd Marriott and Buddy Volta with forfeit wins at 135 and 140. The Bears take a 39-25 win. A competitive bout, one that, despite the Group 1 versus Group 4 situation, big school, little school, it doesn't make any difference when it comes down to the Old Bridge Turnpike.
Absolutely, and Pazinko's wrestlers who came out and did what they had to do, kudos to them. They all wrestled very well.
The Bears will be in action again on the 15th of February down at Freehold Township, and if you're looking forward to some more matches, that's where you'll be finding the Bears next week. So for Andy Scanlon, I'm Bob Cancro. Thanks for watching EBTV.
Thank you.